Hey everyone and welcome back to the morning after show. I know it's a bit later than usual, been sick like a cow. I don't know if we even say sick like a cow, but I feel like everybody else has been sick lately as well. Anyways, the morning after show is basically me reacting the morning after to a Chelsea game. Now we played Manchester City over the weekend. Congrats to Manchester City on winning the title yet again, third time in a row. And thank God Arsenal did not win the Premier League before we win it again. Now we lost the game 1-0. The goal came from Julian Alvarez, and for the rest of the game, pretty boring. Pretty boring. Now, of course, Manchester City did not start the game with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland, etc., etc. Of course, if Arsenal did win against Nottingham Forest, probably they would have started with those players and the game would have been completely different. Now, did I expect us to win when I saw the lineup? To be honest, no. I got friends messaging me, if Chelsea does not win today. I'm like, what do you mean if Chelsea doesn't win today? Do you expect us to win a game? I mean, we're still playing Manchester City. There are still quality players on the field there, and we just don't care. We just don't care. We just don't push as hard. You look at Palmer, right? If you look at Rico Williams, if you look at Rico Lewis, I mean, even the goalkeeper, Manchester City goalkeeper, they all portray this thing that we're missing, this will to win any game. Even though they know they're champions, they want to show their fans, they want to show their managers, we're here, we're playing for Manchester City, we're here to win every single game. Doesn't matter if we're already champions or not. Of course, they can still win the treble. Hopefully they don't. But probably they'll win the Champions League. Hopefully by some miracle Manchester United can do something in the FA Cup. Let's wait and see. But I do want to touch on one thing with regards to this game, and that's for all the people that use statistics as their only point in an argument. Because if we use statistics for this game, you would think that Chelsea were playing much, much better. Why am I saying this? Well, if you look at the stats from yesterday's match, what you can see here is 15 shots for Manchester City, 13 shots for Chelsea, but only 2 shots on target for Manchester City, whereas we had 6 shots on target for Chelsea. Now, of course, when you look at possession, passes, and pass accuracy, City dominates there. But when you look at shots on target, you might say, wow, Chelsea really could have won this game. This, of course, could not have been further from the truth. Of course, towards the end of the game, we had that little chance from Azpilicueta, but overall, these shots on target weren't really that dangerous. They weren't that dangerous at all. Yes, they were shots on target, but they're not dangerous at all. City's 2 shots on target, and of course the offside goal there, were 10 times more effective than our shots on target. So again, if you're looking for or explaining through stats without actually watching the game or using your eyes, sometimes you're missing the full picture. Sometimes you're telling 10% of the story while 90% of the story is actually using your brain and your eyes, and you'll get to your point a bit better. Now, going forward, we still have Manchester United, we still have Newcastle at home. What will happen there? Probably Frank will let Carney play a bit more, because of course, why not, right? Good player, is not going to was not allowed to go to the World Cup because he's a Chelsea player, might still go maybe, we don't know. But hey, let's give him some playing time. Lewis Hall, my opinion, great player, great backup that we have at left back, which is again why I said from the start I don't see the reason why we had to overpay for Cucurella, but okay. Fofana, if you look at the first goal, I don't know who decided to pay that crazy amount for him. Probably is related to the same person that thought that Maguire was worth $80 million. Fofana is not worth half that money, let's be honest. That guy has literally showed nothing throughout the whole season to justify the amount that we paid for him. Of course, he's not the only player, right? Modric, what has he done since he came in? Not much besides running right? Yes, he's very, very fast. Congratulations. I didn't know we were competing with the likes of Usain Bolt here. We bought so many players that really have no place in this team, have no place in this club at all. We overpaid for 90+% of the players that we bought in January and in the summer. If we're being very, very honest, I would not be surprised if we even sell those players at a loss this summer. That's how bad the recruiting has been. Now, of course, some of you might disagree with this because some of your favorite Twitter accounts or Instagram accounts have been hyping this guy up for the last couple of months or months before we actually bought them. So you're like, oh, but they said that he's going to be a great player. They used this hashtag and that hashtag, and we saw some dribbling skills on YouTube and some passes backwards and forward and some spins and this and that, maybe some goals in a Ukrainian league or in a French league or in a league that is non-existent. And that's why we made the opinion and we made up our mind that he must be worth more than every other player in the league that has actually performed and showed its class. Maybe. But we're Chelsea FC here. We're not a joke. All right? In the summer, if Posh comes in, probably comes in. Fabrizio has been announcing that guy for the last 3 weeks, or imminent. We all know that the announcement will probably be made at the end of this season, right? Because what's the point of announcing him 2 days or 2 game weeks before the season ends? We know he's coming. We know the announcement will be made after the season ends, just so we don't create any headlines and conflicts of interest or whatnot. But I really, really hope that Pochettino has made it clear that he doesn't care how much a player has cost the club. He doesn't care that the player was brought in January or in the summer. If he feels that the player is not up to his standards, goodbye, the door is there, au revoir. Because I would like to compare it to some players for Manchester City. Manchester City has some players that aren't that fancy schmancy type of players, right? If you look at Rodri, he's not that type of player that will flash chains and drive supercars and go to parties, etc., etc. No, he's the type of player that you bring in your team to have some stability, to give some strength to your midfield. On the other hand, you have players at our club who, if you look at how they're playing, you would think that they spent more time in the training ground than getting new tattoos, getting new haircuts, new dumb posts on social media, etc., etc. But no, on the contrary, we have players that are more focused on their haircuts, on their tattoos, on their cars, on their chains, on their diamonds, on their social media posts, etc., etc. And I'm so over this BS. Young players these days get contracts worth of millions, even though they are worth nothing, they haven't proven anything, and yet we as a club, and not just Chelsea, this is a problem in the whole sport industry, give them contracts that is just ridiculous. And this is why clubs like Manchester City have been dominating football in the last couple of years. Yes, of course, they do have one of the best players around. They have Kevin De Bruyne, they have Haaland, they have Phil Foden, which is a very, very good young player. They have a good team, good managing team, good team in the back room as well. But they have bought players that don't really care about all the fancy schmancy stuff. They've brought in players that want to play football, want to win football games, want to bring joys to the fans. They've brought in players that don't care about the haircuts, that don't care about the tattoos, that don't care about the flashy, fancy stuff. They don't care about all of that. And that's extremely important when you're building a winning super team, which is something that we have been lacking for the last couple of years. If you look at our title-winning teams, we've had a couple of those players. We've had players that are in the team and that are playing football purely because they're good at their job. They don't care about the internet stuff, the social media stuff. They just want to play football. They want to win football matches. They want to win titles. And that's about it. Lately, a lot of football clubs have been focused on the social media stuff, the marketing stuff, and that's why their clubs have gone to shit. Hopefully, that will change this summer for Chelsea, because I do think that Pochettino is a type of no bullshit guy. I mean, he had to deal with superstars at PSG. I think he did quite a good job. He did a great job at Southampton, did a very good job at Spurs, even though he didn't win anything. He did reach the final with them. Hopefully things will change this summer. Of course, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.